Hello everyone and welcome back to yet another War of the Worlds video. Now last time out we were discussing the military, stuff that's already in the game, stuff that I personally want to see with regards to the military. And evidently I'm not the biggest YouTuber covering War of the Worlds at the minute, so, rather than just going into the stuff that's going to get me all the views, etc, etc, I do just want to start out by covering the stuff that I'm personally excited for. And that's not at all me trying to throw any shade towards any of the other War of the World YouTubers. If you are doing this for the views, I totally get that. It's a great opportunity, and it's great promotion for this game nonetheless. But with that being said, on the topic of my favourite things in this game, something I'm incredibly excited for is the multiplayer. Now, we heard in Voidboy's stream that the multiplayer is supposedly 20 to 30% of the way done. And with that being said, it does raise questions as to how far in development it actually is, or I guess you could say 20 to 30%, but in terms of gameplay, I want to know how far it actually is. So that's exactly what we're going to be looking at in today's video. Stuff that we already know about multiplayer, and stuff that I just generally want to see with regards to multiplayer. Now, apologies if I do sound like utter crap in today's video. I have caught a cold or something like that. Hay fever, maybe. But yeah, I'm not feeling too great, but I still want to get videos out, so here I am. But on that note, if you do go on to enjoy today's video, please do consider liking and subscribing. I'm really trying to push for 2k by the end of the year, so if you haven't already, please do consider subscribing. If we can try and hit 25 likes on today's video, that'd be awesome. I know that I haven't had the fastest start to my War of the Worlds content, so any support is appreciated. And with that being said, I don't want to waste any more of your time, and let's get into the video. Before we go anywhere though, I do just quickly want to mention, I did have a slight scripting error in today's video. I accidentally said misinformation. These being the character customization, as well as the fact that the multiplayer is 20 to 30% of the way done. It isn't. That was just for the tripod controller. I got that from Kit's video and accidentally misunderstood it. And in terms of character customization, I just sort of went off on a tangent for some reason. But yeah, they were both very false, but I'm sorry about that. And enjoy the video. So Raph really does have a gem on his hands with this game, because dare I say that the War of the Worlds game is potentially the most anticipated War of the Worlds game ever. I don't actually think I'd be that far off. In comparison to both Grey and Darker Skies, it doesn't have a story and it's just a much more sort of simplistic yet better game. If I could compare it to any modern day game, I'd probably compare it to something like Generation Zero, because of the robotic war aesthetic and yeah, the survival, hunting down tripods, stuff like that. Now, on the note of hunting down tripods, we know that for the first few days of the invasion, we won't stand a chance and they are actually invincible. However, in the later days of the invasion, we actually stand a chance and we can actually fight against the tripods. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up, despite you probably knowing it if you're following the War of the Worlds game's development, is that in multiplayer, I'd imagine it's going to be so much easier to take down a tripod than it is in single player, evidently. Now, as I said at the beginning of the video, multiplayer is roughly 20 to 30% of the way done, which means that we don't have an awful lot of information, but what we do have is definitely exciting and leaves a lot of space for speculation. So we don't know how big the servers will actually be. I'm going to take a rough guess and say about 16 to 20, 20 being the most, because I'd imagine you can have like 5 tripods who are your mates or just general online players in the same server as you, and 15 survivors who are running around for their lives. Now, I feel this would be a pretty decent way to sort of sort out the player to tripod ratio, because for the most part, for the first few days of the invasion, tripods are invincible, and by the end of the invasion, when you can actually take on the tripods, I know that the premise is for the tripods to exterminate you, but assuming you are alive with some of your mates, it would just be so much better to have, people other than just yourself taking out the tripods, because that way it does actually give you a chance. Now, right, I understand you're not meant to have a chance. This is a total human extermination. However, in regards to being a multiplayer game, you should be able to give your survivors a chance of survival, and that's why I feel like this player to tripod ratio makes the most sense, at least to me. Another question I've been asked about the multiplayer is, will there be multiple maps? And I can confirm that currently, at least, there is one big massive map for you to roam about in instead of several, and I feel this is better because, it means that I don't want to compare it to Fortnite, but similar to Fortnite, it might give you a rough idea of where to hang about, where to not hang about, where's the best cover and where's not the best cover. Perhaps you might want to stay in a city where there's loads of stores and loads of cover. However, at the same time, that's going to be an absolute hotspot for both online players and tripods. So perhaps you might want to stay in the countryside and scavenge farmhouses. However, that's extremely open and lackluster in terms of cover, so perhaps it's not the best idea, but you get my point. Next up though, in regards to character customization, I'm happy to say that there is actually something coming that can sort of differentiate your friends from other online players, which is nice to see. Now, unfortunately, it's not the full skin tone, jawline character customization that we perhaps hoped for. However, it's still something nonetheless, and it's pretty much just changing your clothing options, which, regardless of the fact that we might have wanted something a bit more in detail, it's still cool to be able to differentiate enemies from your friends from just general AI. Now, something I was discussing with Raph the other day was actually a sort of system that would allow you to differentiate your friends from other players more easily and actually make a more sort of realistic War of the Worlds survival scenario. Now, this idea initially came to me from games like Rust, Ark and DayZ, and that was the idea to have an ability to sort of form your own groups with other players, albeit your friends or just other online players. Now, if I were at the helm of creating this game and I did go through with this idea, the way I'd label it out is you're allowed a maximum of 5 people in one party. That way it's not an entire server, and it also gives you the ability to turn on stuff like friendly fire or turn off friendly fire. That way you don't get people just pissing you off blatantly. And yeah, it's just a way to sort of hunt or survive with more of your friends. And yeah, this idea also gave me another idea, which was a sort of rework system for the radios. This radio system would give you exclusively the ability to contact people only in your party. That way you're not chatting to random people and it's just easier to communicate, assuming you're not on a Discord call. I'm pretty sure that the War of the Worlds game will have proximity chat, so if you're screaming down your microphone, tripods will hear it, which is absolutely terrifying, but you know, for creating that realistic War of the Worlds feel, it's also pretty awesome, which is why I had this radio idea. And now, I'm not at all familiar with Martian technology, but perhaps if you are using the radio, it maybe interferes with their communication system and also makes you a bigger target because they can sort of track down where you are, which is also absolutely terrifying. But with that being said, that does just about wrap up today's War of the Worlds video. If you have enjoyed, let's try and smash 25 likes on today's video. That'd be awesome, and if you do want to see more War of the Worlds content, please do consider subscribing. Again, 2K is the goal. If we can hit it, then that's also awesome. And also, assuming that this is your first time watching someone cover the War of the Worlds game, I do just quickly want to shout out 2 of the other more popular YouTubers covering this genre, and they are Voidboy and Kit. Now, in comparison to my content, theirs just absolutely kicks me out the door, but yeah, if you are looking for a better coverage on this game, I don't want to say that my content's necessarily bad, but theirs is undoubtedly better, so if you have enjoyed today's video, I have no doubt in my mind that you'll enjoy theirs. If you do want to check them out, then their links will be in the description, alongside the War of the Worlds game channel, my Twitter, Discord, and yeah. But with that being said, thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen, and I do hope to catch you in the next one.